What is up, guys? A long time no see. Sorry for the lack of YouTube content, but honestly, I've been kind of messing around with a lot of work. I've had a lot of problems with work and employment over the last, year now almost? Most of a year. Feels like most of a year. More like half a year. Yeah, let's leave it at that. And so, yeah, most of the time when I've been making content, it's been streaming, and sadly, I just not had time to make YouTube videos. But I just I have a little time on my hands to make this for you guys. I'm gonna just do a quick review on the AMX M4 49 Liberte. Because I recently 3-marked this thing, and I kind of have to make a video on this, guys. This thing just, it needs some love. And so just gonna go, I'm not even gonna go into tanks.gg because everything that you guys need to know I can do from literally here. So I'm gonna start with the armor. It's not great by today's standards, guys. Don't get me wrong, it can pull off some occasional troll bounces depending on what you do with it, but a lot of the time you're not gonna have a great time with the armor, so best not to count on it too much. And generally, playing this thing as a frontline heavy, not what I would advise, though. Don't worry about it in this replay. We're gonna still do that anyway, but I would definitely not advise you be up front. I would definitely advise being, second line support heavy, because your armor and your DPM do not hold up for being a frontline tank at all. So I'm not going. Don't even bother worrying about the raw thickness, because the effectiveness thickness of the front, you're averaging front on, straight on. You're talking maybe about 245 to 255 at best. Maybe 260, 270 with on this little bit with the extra tracks. The lower plate, if you're most tanks when they're looking at it, they're gonna point down. That's more like, again, like 270, 280, and at best. And though if you've got a lower profile tank, sometimes they've got a better chance of penning that easily. Obviously, if you're above someone, they'll just go through it. Yeah, it's not amazing, but it's one of those cases where the lower plate is stronger than the upper plate in most situations. You've got these shoulders here as well, pointed forward. They're again like 280 roughly, and obviously if you try and side scrape, those are going to show first. So yeah, don't side scrape in this thing if you can avoid it. And your turret front is pretty good. You're probably not going to get penned there most of the time, and while people can pen the very front of your turret ring, it's very, very rare that anyone ever hits there. So even, and they'll have to have quite a high pen gun for that as well. But a lot of you guys will have noticed the gigantic cupola, which is only about 60 millimeters effective all the way around. Yeah. And that's obviously at the flattest point. It gets to, at best, like 80 to 90. It's not good. Not good at all. And yeah, also this turret is one of those where if you are slightly turned, it becomes paper on the sides. So there's that as well. And side armor, pretty weak. And it's only like 55 millimeters. And yeah, it's enough to side scrape if you keep the angle fairly tight, but again, like I was saying, you don't want to side scrape in this thing because of the shoulders anyway, so just don't do it. Try and bait by slightly over angling your lower and upper plates to try and get people to shoot those instead. Just try not to go so far that they can track and pen you through your road wheel, and yeah, that's basically all you can really do with your armor. Apart from try and go hull down, but then cry every time when someone just snapshots your cupola, which will happen a lot in this thing. DPM, this tank does not have any. Even when I was running Bond Rammer, as you can see I was here when going for the gun marks, and food, brothers in arms, And I was running a directive as well in this thing to buff the reload. You barely scratch just under 2.3k DPM. Yeah, you were talking like just over 8 second reload for 300 alpha, not 320, not 360, 300 on a tier 8 heavy. And it's not even a particularly accurate gun either. You're talking like, I think mine got down to like 0.33, maybe 0.34 accuracy at best. And that's with a pretty long aim time as well. And the soft stats are not good on this thing either. So, yeah. What you do have is actually reasonable pen. On AP, you have, it's roughly 232, and it's about 263 on premium, and you have about 50 millimeters of high explosive pen, and you have 400 alpha damage roughly on HE, or was it 370? I can't remember. It's 370 to 400 roughly, and so at least the HE against, you know, tanks that are like paper, like the Rheinmetall Borsig, you know, you can do something there. Bear with me a second, guys. Professional streamer, content creator, forgetting to apply colorblind mode for those who are like myself. Yeah, so DPM is bad. View range, base of 370. You would think it would have more, considering that gigantic cupola, but no, base view range is only 370. So you don't have much there either. So really, if you want a good view range, you're going to be using bond equipment or bounty equipment, along with food, all the crew skills, brothers in arms. Yeah. You could... man, it's so hard to justify any other setup other than optics, stabs, and rammer, unless you're on a tiny map, in which case you could get away with either turbo or hardening. If you're on something like Ensk, you could go either turbo or hardening, depends on what you feel like you need most. Same on Himmelsdorf, same on Mines. Again, any really small map, you can get away with using those over optics, but barely. It's, yeah. Anyway, you guys probably already get the picture. This thing is not great these days. It has been heavily power crept. So let's just get into the replay, shall we? This was on Siegfried Line, and this is from when I was 3 marking it. You can see I've got 2 marks in this video. And basically all we're going to do is we're going to try and take the positions next to the wall in the city, just between the wall and that small set of buildings, and we're just going to try and farm as much as possible. And basically with this tank, if you are playing a little further up, you basically want to try and like I say, bait shots from your enemy into either missing or into hitting, you know, an angle on your tank that they cannot pen. This I6B, by the way, he's not gonna be doing particularly great this match. Spoiler alert. Well, he isn't. He's gonna struggle at some points, and at others he's gonna be kind of helpful for us. So he's gonna go straight ahead, and that actually is this is the part where he's actually helpful. He's gonna be a big distraction for us while we just chill, waiting for the enemy players to make a mistake. And in fact, he does provide us with a very good distraction overall this match. Now, bit unlucky with the positioning of that Lerva, though we know we can just take a shot at him with APCR and pen him, so that's no problem. We do barely get the trade off there, though he has got hardening on, so not really that much in our favor, but we'll take it. I did fire a lot of APCR in this thing. Mostly APCR this match, to be honest, because I was like, you know what, I'm going for the 3rd mark. I was pretty close at this point as well, so I just decided, you know what, screw it. I don't mind spending the credits when I'm this close to the 3rd mark. As you can see, the I6B actually doing okay in his fight against the Iron Arnie, surprising considering the armor on that thing. At this point, I was about to decide to try and peek the Lerva again to see if I could maybe get him to bounce off my upper plate and before returning fire, but he is not spotted. just kind of taking it easy right now. I knew that there was another couple of tanks in that corner. Unfortunate pen on the side armor from that T-28 prototype. That was a snapshot and a half from him. We are going to be seeing more of him very, very soon. He is not the brightest T-28 prototype. As you can see, reversing sideways on in front of us. He no longer had a shot on our side. We punish him for it. This AMX 65T is just lost, my dudes. Yeah. Side note, AMX 65T. Also not a side scrape tank. And he also thought he was safe, by the way. So we get a nice easy shot on his upper plate. At a bad angle for him. T-28 once again, sideways on. Easy shot into the side. He bounces off our turret front. At this point, the IS-6 is dead. Killed by the M449 on the enemy team and the Iron Arnie. A bit unfortunate for him, but he did give us a good distraction, so he was helpful there. Now, this 65T, you can already see it. You guys can see the pen marker, pen indicator that I have, where it shows the rough damage, rough pen numbers. Bad shot from me on the T-28 there. I should probably have just aimed for the turret cheek, but I didn't have that much time to get the shot off, so it is what it is. Friendly BZ coming up to try and do what he can, but at this point, it's kind of awkward for him to do much. Again, 65T peeking at a bad angle. BZ slaps him for 370 on a non-pen. And yeah, and just so you guys know, that is where the APCR from the 65T, who is using the exact same gun as us. And yeah, that was not actually through the tracks, that was just into the upper plate. You can see for yourselves just the effectiveness of this armor, or lack thereof, but he is just going to give us the shot eventually, just like that, and there he goes. Some of the friendly mediums have managed to get round the other side. It's not really that effective at the moment. They are just kind of dying, and at this point we kind of need the T-28 to peek so we can get rid of him as well. But he is not willing to do so. The Lerva seems distracted at this point, so we're just gonna peek and take a couple of shots at him. That one penned his upper plate. Ooh. Important shot there. Damage to an enemy BZ 176 is important anytime you get the chance. We went for the shot in the lower plate of the Lerva, but this gun really troll at times, so we don't hit it. Thankfully, he just peeks again. We get the easy shot. And he only hits our tracks in return. So, very good for us. He's doing the same peek. He thinks he can peek the same way we are. He cannot. Because, again, what I said before about this tank. Now, this T-28... Sorry, this I almost said T-28. TS5. Well, let's face it. The TS5 is basically just a better T-28. He is going to be very generous for us. Eventually. Don't worry. We'll get to that. And yeah, here he comes. Another shot into his lower plate. We're gonna get to pull back and reload. He actually bounces a heat shell. At that angle, it was never gonna pen our upper plate. It was just at too much of an angle for that. And he's kind of put himself in a bad spot here. I do have teammates ready to just slap him, and there he goes. Still a very even match at this point in terms of players. Hawk 12 out in the field gets a shot on us. I didn't realize that he had the shot on us at that point. But he's going to get slapped by the Mod 1 and the even 90 soon. So he's not much of a threat to us right now. Not looking good for our hit points right now, though. We have taken a good few hits. So we're basically a one-shot for anything apart from the Batchat 12T. And, well, the Hawk can high roll us. At this point, I'm looking to try and get rid of the enemy Liberte, because he is trying to get around. Fortunately, CTA 105 finishes him off. Now it's just the BZ and the Lerva left in the city, so moving in with the Turtle and the T103 here to try and get rid of them. Obviously, the BZ here is the bigger threat of the two, because he does not even need to pen us at this point. He can just hit our side. We only track him with that shot. However, we are going to get another shot on him here. Barely clip that, and that is the single most important shot of this entire match. Set the BZ on fire. Very lucky with that. I reckon he still had damaged fuel tanks from earlier in the match, from taking a previous shot from someone else and hadn't fixed them. That, by the way, if you're in a BZ-176 or any tank that has weak fuel tanks, always fix those. Tried to get the killing blow in the lava, but the CDA was just a little too quick for us. Now it's just everyone left in the field. Unfortunately, the Baguette 12T does take out our even 90, leaving just the mod 1 on that side. And we're gonna have a bit of a weird situation happen when we start heading towards the field. You'll see it eventually. Now, ideally, we want to get rid of the light tanks before we head towards the SU, who is, of course, going to be sitting in the bushes on A1, or possibly hold down. Now, that's a helpful shot from the BZ, slapping that Baguette, making him a one-shot for everyone. Unfortunately, the AMX does miss. Looking to get the shot on the Hawk 12 here, looking to shoot through the trees so we don't get spotted. But he's not giving us much, and there, again, the gun kind of not working out in terms of the accuracy side and the handling side. He does spot us there, so he must have just enough view range to defeat those trees and the camo they provide. I'm kind of wary about trying to get to the ridge in front of him here. The Baguette 12T has moved up. Now, ideally, the BZ should be trying to go for this guy because he has the superior armor, he has the more likely one-shot capability. At this point, I just decided to put a blind shot towards the SU just to see if we can hit him. We do not. And here we see the turtle and the CDA going forward. I figure, okay, if they're going forward, just be patient, just in case anyone spots the SU, but no such luck. They are currently trying to get the Hawk 12. We get spotted, just pulling back just then the SU can't just slap us from existence. BZ tries to either blind shoot the SU or hit the Hawk. And yeah, you can kind of see why this was a bit of a weird situation. I decided at this point, look, these guys are not doing anything. Let's just move up to the ridge ourselves. SU misses the shot on us. Taking the time to see if we can get the shot on him. We do. 377 to the face. This is where the HE from this is very helpful, by the way. Bad push by the AMX there. He thought he was safe to push. SU still trying to shoot the turtle. I'm looking to try and get another shot on the SU here, but he's just too far below the ridge. Side note, by the way, I hate that there's a little dip right there, and I don't think that's a good part of the map. I don't think that part's well designed, but that's just me. He is being spotted by the mod 1 right now, so taking the chance to go around and slap the Hawk while he's distracted. There's the Hawk. And there he goes. Finished off the Hawk. Important kill there. As we try and get another shot on the SU, who fires HE at us to try and finish us off without having to pen. We get lucky, actually. He doesn't actually get any more than 211 damage, which is really good for us. SU is YOLOing the mod 1 right now, who does get a good hit on him. Bit unlucky for us. We missed that last shot. And the SU rams himself to death on the mod 1. Yeah, bit of an interesting one, that. Don't know why he decided that. But yeah. Anyway, guys, that match, actually, we got a blind shot on the lava earlier in the match, so, actually a couple of blind shots. Not just on him, but I think we got one, the rest of the, yeah, we got the rest of the BZ-176 blind because of the fire, after the shot that we saw on the side of him when he was running away from the middle. And that resulted in a 6,106 damage match. The replay is up on What Replays, if you guys want to check it out in your own time as well, should you wish to look through it, or even if anyone wants to commentate on on it themselves. It's there for you guys. That was an ace tanker. Steel wall, surprisingly, for only blocking 1600, but I guess no one else blocked the same number of shells that match, but we'll take it. Obviously a high caliber. That was a base XP of 1722. I actually made credits despite firing a lot of premium ammo. That was 63,687 credit profit because I already had a spare large repair kit, large med kit, and I think a spare food in my depot already. So I didn't need to auto resupply any of those. That was not the third mark match. I actually got that in a different match later on that wasn't quite as spectacular in terms of damage as that one. But yeah, this tank, yeah, it needs some love. What would I do to this thing? I would either buff the hell out of the cupola and make it similarly effective in terms of armor to the cupola on the VK100, the tier 8 German Tech Tree Super Heavy. And I would maybe buff the upper plate a tiny bit, maybe not much, maybe only about an extra 10 millimeters effective. And maybe the sides a little bit, but again, you can't really do much there. And then maybe buff the gun handling and the DPM a little bit. It does need quite a bit of help to make it competitive in today's tier 8, considering some of the tanks that we've had added, like Mr. BZ over there. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think of this tank. Have you guys played it? Did you guys buy it a long time ago, or have you bought it more recently, if at all? And by the way, guys, this thing overall is not a great credit maker, even if you're firing mostly AP. Even though the pen is okay for a tier 8 heavy on AP, you're only hitting for 300 on average. You're not going to make many credits with this thing. So I would avoid this one until such time that they give it a buff, or alternatively that they actually decide that they want to just completely rebalance tier 8 heavies, especially premium, well, tier 8s in general, especially premiums. But yeah, until then, guys, I would avoid this thing. If this thing comes up for sale and you don't have it, don't buy it. Not even the unskinned one, just the regular M449. Don't bother with that either. It's literally just a copy paste of this. So yeah. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed, and I will hopefully see you on the next one or on the next stream. Peace out.